Listen, I've got somebody here that if you know the world of fiat and of crypto, then you are absolutely going to know what's happening right here. We're at the panel right now with Kris. Kris, please say hi to the DLive community.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, you've got a lot going on right now.
It's quite a bit.
Can you introduce the audience, yourself, and your product, a little bit about your background and your product first.
Excellent. So my name is Kris. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Crypto.com. I'm a lifelong entrepreneur, and I love building great teams that then build great products for consumers. Our app, Crypto.com, has now more than 1 million users globally, and it's paired with pretty much the only debit card that has global coverage, the crypto debit card that has global coverage. So we believe that fundamentally you need to have two things for crypto to succeed. Seamless user experience and financial incentives, and we provide users with both.
Okay, so it seems your card payments background, your fintech background, would you say that taking a look at the American Express Diners Club model would be helpful to a lot of folks when they think about the ecosystem created around crypto?
I actually look at it differently.
Okay.
You need to provide value that the customers know and appreciate, understand today. Mm-hmm. And for us, it's quite simple. Like 3%, 4%, 5% cashback on your transactions, right? Free lounge access, right? 8% interest rate on your per annum on your crypto. Right? This is something they can easily compare. They can appreciate the value, so they can get on the bandwagon. And our job is to build products that deliver the value today, so we can expand the ecosystem. But the big picture is not really about disrupting guys like Diners Club, Amex, or even Visa or MasterCard. It's about giving people back the control of their money, data, and identity. We think this is your basic human right.
Okay.
And it's one of the most pressing issues of our time. So we are just taking this very high-level goal and trying to build the plumbing, to do all the dirty work to kind of build the infrastructure without which crypto adoption can't happen.
Right. So you've taken a huge, everyone involved with this venture has taken a huge chance with time, because that's the major factor right now. It takes time to build a product of this caliber. How's that been going for you?
Yeah, so in my experience, to have a basic working business, you need to spend 5 years. So when we look at the time frame, we're looking at 5 to 10 years. This is where you can have real impact and build something that can affect how the market, the society works. I don't think anybody has, as of today, any doubts that Bitcoin is here to stay, that crypto can't be killed. You had a US congressman saying that crypto is an unstoppable force, right? So it takes time to get to this level, but we are willing to invest in people, process, technology to over many years to build what needs to be built, so that crypto becomes from today's 50 million users to 1 billion or 2 billion.
I got to tell you, as a serial entrepreneur raising capital, you must have fantastic investors and teams of folks surrounding you in a community that really believes in your product and in you.
I think the community is very important. We are very, very fortunate to have a global, very passionate community, and we've got constant feedback from our community. What should we improve and change and fix? And the speed of iteration on your product is one of the most important things to keep you competitive. You need to build something really sticky.
Right.
And Crypto.com basically addresses all of your needs that you may have around crypto, from simple buying and selling crypto with your credit card or a bank transfer, to professional trading. We just announced today that we're launching a full desktop exchange.
I was just going to say, hold on a second.
Yeah.
I've been back here this entire time. I didn't hear that announcement. I don't know if you guys just heard that announcement.
Yeah.
They've got an exchange.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's absolutely no reason for you to go anywhere else. You can get the whole package here. And
this is the ultimate card. Like,
Look. I think in the next bull market, which we know is coming, only companies that build entire ecosystems with very passionate communities will thrive.
and we're coming on to that time.
Yeah.
And we had a slight shakedown during the time frame that it was marketing exposure, is what I call the charlatan time frame. I quaintly phrased it as our marketing opportunity because I don't know how else to look at it. As a technology, Java didn't get that level of love. They didn't get that, So as a technology layer, it received a lot of marketing, and good, bad, or indifferent. What trends are you seeing in companies that you'd like to partner yourself with? Hospitality, travel, how would you like to partner yourself with?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. So where we look at partnerships, right, we want to bring aboard large consumer-facing brands, so like consumer flywheels, those guys that move the needle. So a good example is, Samsung. Our coin is integrated into Samsung Wallet. This is the type of partnership that makes a big difference because these guys, when they ship like billions of handsets, right? When they do something, it makes a difference. So we're looking at a number of these, and bringing brands on board certainly plays a role in driving the adoption.
Okay. And how big is the team now?
We've got a little over 200 people right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's grown, but the way we've been around for almost 3.5 years now. Because it started mid 2016. So the way we've built the company is with great focus on culture. So from these 200 people, maybe 60-70% were personal referrals. So people who already joined, and then we ask them very basic questions like, who are the top 3 guys you ever worked with, and then we bring them on board. It brings a very coherent culture to the team and a culture of empowerment. People can get stuff done. I view this personally as a competitive advantage for Crypto.com.
So would you say that is your competitive advantage over the other offerings, the cards?
Look, it's not really in a sense that that makes our product immediately better, but in my experience, if you get your culture right and you build an exceptional team over a longer period of time, like 3, 5, 10 years, the A players outperform dramatically. Like there's a huge difference in output. And you mentioned about 2017, the ICO craze, the charlatans, right? At that time, it was very hard for people to distinguish which guys are real builders, building real things, and who is just doing marketing and fluff, right?
And who can build and they don't realize they need a little marketing to really push their company. Yeah, it's a crazy time.
Yes, but I personally prefer like building in a bear market, right? Keep your head down, improve the product, do a good job for your customer, provide real value, build a real business with real revenues. So you just don't burn cash every day, right? It seems like a very basic thing to do, but in order to do this, you need to build a strong team with good culture so you can outperform people in the market.
How do you decide at the end of the day, with all of this fantastic feedback from the community, how do you decide what's the consensus on deciding what moves forward?
Yeah, this is
what's that process?
I'll be frank. This is a tough one, right? Because there's always so many competing priorities, right? This one is really tough.
It is a tough one,
and it's as much about saying no as about saying yes. In fact, I would argue that saying no is more important.
Absolutely.
Right?
I was going to say.
So I'll give you an example, right? So next year, we essentially have just 3 priorities, right, for the whole company. Number 1, expand our professional trading platform. So we are starting right now with the just announced spot exchange.
How many products?
Just a professional trading platform in the spot, right? So you can trade your coins, limit orders, market orders. In the first half, we'll launch margin trading, lending, and derivatives. Right? So that completes the suite of products for institutional clients. The second objective on our roadmap is to improve further on our card product. So right now, this is a debit card. So you need to fund it by selling crypto. Right? We don't want people to sell crypto. So instead, what we are working on is you simply keep the coins in your wallet, and we extend you a credit line based on the value of the coins that you have with us. So you can actually spend fiat and hold your crypto, pretty much forever, assuming that the market is not too volatile, right? So this is like in line with what we believe in. You should be short fiat and long crypto, right? So it's a new type of product.
That's definitely a new type of product.
It's a new type of product. It's like in between a credit card and a debit card, and specifically addressing the needs of crypto fanatics. And the third thing that we are focused on from the product roadmap standpoint is launching our public chain, which is now in testnet stage, and we're going to launch in mainnet. Right. And that thing can allow us to do a lot of interesting stuff.
Oh, okay. And so where are you in that process of launching mainnet?
Next year.
Next year.
Next year.
Early?
This is a very...
There's a lot of people who want to know that specific.
I don't want to comment on the exact timing because, mainnet launch... Mainnet launch, I mean, we're dealing with people's money, right? It has to be reliable, right? And we will take our time to make sure that the launch goes well.
Okay, good.
So you can see there's like 200 things that we could be building, right? But the entire company only focuses on 3. And you need to say no to so many things and manage the communication, the prioritization, and the execution really well.
So the question is, what does your day-to-day look like then? Are you walking in or getting up with it on your mind? Are we going to make this new product?
It's a very good question. So there are 2 aspects of it. So the first one is, if you're an entrepreneur and it's your calling, it's not a job, right?
Absolutely.
So you can't just switch it off. I think about what we do 24/7. But at the same time, you need to have discipline, right? I have a 3-year-old son, so I make sure that I spend time with him in the mornings and in the evenings. I put him to bed and I go back to do my work stuff, right? Okay. So if you want to make sure that you have I don't want to use the words like work-life balance, but I'll borrow from Jeff Bezos, harmony, right? Work-life harmony. You need to be very disciplined. So then it creates additional pressure for you to manage your time at work well, right? So I'm a terrible manager. Terrible manager. It's in terms of but the only thing I'm good at is identifying talent and bringing the right people to the team, and then empowering them to actually deliver something we can collectively all be really proud of.
That's a very powerful superpower.
It's
talent,
like managing your weakness a little bit,
and at the same time, right?
Aspect of it, right?
But in that same respect, that is huge. As an entrepreneur, you're finding yourself in many different avenues, different businesses, and you need to bring these teams together that can truly bring value proposition to the table to the core consumer. So I completely understand that. It seems like you're doing a fantastic job.
All credit goes to the team. I'm trying to stay out of their way pretty much most of the time.
If you had any advice for the aspiring entrepreneurs, coders out there in DLive world, what are a couple of pieces of advice that you would go through what you've gone through in the past few years? Yeah. What advice could you offer them as they take that challenge, that path, and quite frankly, join you with the card in their wallet?
It's an excellent question again. I think that entrepreneurs, generally speaking, are guilty of not thinking enough about distribution. How are you going to get distribution? Build it and they come rarely ever happens, right? So you need to spend a lot of time thinking about, what is the opportunity, and how am I going to actually get it into people's hands? And the strategies and tactics are different if you're running a SaaS business, which is B2B, or an enterprise software or consumer product. Thinking about distribution is essential. Sometimes this is what makes or breaks most of the business. That's one thing. And as you think about it, I'll encourage everyone to make sure they work on things that are really impactful and meaningful. Right? You only have one life. You better work on something that you're really passionate about and can really make a difference in this world. And if you combine the two with, of course, a good dose of luck,
great big
Magic
dose of
can
luck.
happen, yeah.
A little
can
magic,
happen.
a little blessings
Yeah.
from the universe and the Lord. Yes, I got it. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
If you have any questions, or if anybody has any questions from you for the DLive community, how can they get in contact with you?
Actually, we have a monthly live Q&A with our community on Twitter. So you can go to @crypto.com and follow us. And every month you have the doubtful pleasure of listening to me talking for half an hour or an hour. But the good news is that you can then poke me with any kind of questions that you would like to have answers to. Like nothing is off limits. So get on Twitter, find us there. Every month we talk about what's next at crypto.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I wish you all the best, all the success.
Likewise.
in life
Thank
has
you
to
so
offer
much.
you.